How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. We're reacting to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 5, 4,722 hours, which is how long Simmons was on that alien planet. Let's get into it. I don't know if I think we're going to be talking about it and then, seeing what happens overlay with Gemma talking to Fitz. I don't think so. I think we're going to see it happening. I think we're going to go do a previously, 4,722 hours ago. Well, I guess it wouldn't be exactly, but 5,000 hours ago or something. All right, let's get into it. If you want to see the full length of this one, check it out on the Patreon below for $4 a month. Okay, yeah, I think it is easy to say this is my favorite episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thus far, for sure. The standalone nature of it, is wonderful in and of itself, but even aside from all that, it was just such an incredible story being told from start to finish. I am a huge sucker for sci-fi tragedy, I would say. Not necessarily sci-fi in general, or I'm not even talking about just alien stuff in general, or anything like that, but specifically sci-fi tragedy. I am a very big sucker for. Love that sort of shit. The, humans being in sort of like an alien scenario. It doesn't necessarily have to be an alien planet. It could be like, an alien capturing them, or abducting them, or something like that. But a human just trapped on a sort of like in a hopeless situation that ostensibly they would never be able to get out of. And this episode did an amazing job of seeing Simmons, progression of her mindset throughout all of this, where she starts off in an extreme panic, trying to claw her way back in, but then very quickly she tries to keep her composure. She tries to think about it and be like, well, they'll come for me. There's a procedure for this and all this sort of stuff. And then, of course, the survivalism sets in. We have the whole, she gets taken as a captive, and that might have been the scariest part of the entire episode, before we found out the Will was just like a crazy dude, when they were keeping it obscure, like what that figure was and everything like that. And oh my god, just imagining her being on that planet for what at that point was already like a month, I believe, a little bit over a month, and then she's captured, and extreme nightmare fuel this episode so much. I definitely had nightmares last night about this episode. I legitimately did. But hey, that's a sign of a good fucking episode. It was legitimately terrifying. Even as far as with the tragedy stuff, the message in a bottle thing, they just really sunk it in, even with that part there. This whole episode, amazingly done. Last episode was an incredible amount of foreshadowing. I tried to leave in as much as I could in my editing for that episode, but the whole her saying she doesn't want to go back, and now we find out that's for Will. The reason why she wouldn't want to talk about it was because of the relationship that they shared. The whole thing about talking to Andrew about the plant monster that she ate, which we thought was just a sort of plant sort of thing, but now we were like, oh, okay, that was what she was talking about, that wasn't as sweet as strawberries. And then we get the she says she had the strawberry line last episode, call back to the strawberry thing this episode. I figured we were going to get back to it in some way, and it wasn't just like a sort of establishing scene. I knew it was more with the Englishman, so we got more with that. It wasn't last episode, but still, we got more with that. Originally, I thought that she was trying to, when she started to bleed, on her eyebrow, and she covered it up with mud. I thought that was to sort of try and stop any sort of infection, maybe, or something like that. But no, she was trying to mask the smell of the blood from this thing. So much foreshadowing last episode. Incredible. I just, wow. Normally, it takes a long time to get the foreshadowing payoff, but this was such a, set him up and knock him down scenario. And so, I will say, it fits at the end of this episode, by the way. We, like, should have just said something right off the bat. That was, like, super... that was, like, the most network television thing I've ever seen, but it was close. Fitz just, like, needlessly having this little bit of drama right there at the end of the episode, just to have a little sting to end off on. But, come on, Fitz, you should have just... You didn't need to put Simmons through that amount of emotional turmoil, even for just a couple seconds. It's still like, what was the point of that? Come on. But now, hopefully, we are going back. We're gonna go get Will. Will might be a part of, S.H.I.E.L.D. now, because he's a fucking, essentially like a time traveler, right? Like, it's like coming out of a coma for 14 years. Except he's been awake that entire time, but it's weird, he's not gonna go back to life after that. So, it's very Captain America-esque, but a lot less time. So, yeah, I'm guessing that he's gonna join S.H.I.E.L.D. It seems like this season is the season of not, Season 2, we jump right into it with, like, there's a bunch of new people in S.H.I.E.L.D., and we just get used to them over the course of the series, over the course of the season. Then this season, it seems like no new characters right off the bat. We're just slowly introducing more characters to S.H.I.E.L.D. as the season is going on. Oh boy, my camera just, like, super out of focus. Hold on. Okay, I do not remember where we were, so I was just talking about, like, the new people in S.H.I.E.L.D. with Joey and now with Will, and, Andrew is similar. We got him at the end of last season, so it's been, not really, kind of, however you want to see that one. But, yeah, I like the way we're doing these new people, assumingly they're going to be part of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, what do we know about this planet that she's on? Well, it's mostly night. There's a couple minutes of sunlight every few months, it seems like. They're only a couple minutes because they're on the poles. Maybe it would be a little bit longer if they're somewhere else, but still, it would probably only be a couple minutes, no matter where they are. So, the planet has to be the biggest thing in the surrounding area because, as Simmons said, the portal is fixed. It's just that the Earth rotates, and then the portal is somewhere else on the Earth, on the planet there. So, that means that the planet is not orbiting anything, or else that would, fuck up everything about where the portal would be. So, it would have to only be in one spot if that was the case. So, yeah, the other, if that was planets or moons that we always see out in the sky there, I don't know what they are, if it's planets or moon, but they orbit around this planet, whatever it is. This planet has moods. I'm gonna take that as, like, sure, yeah, it could be some scientific explanation, but it's an alien fucking planet. Who's to say an alien planet can't be alive? How the fuck do we not know? Or, how the fuck would we know, right? How would we say that's not possible? It goes against everything we know so far, but it's an alien fucking planet on where in space we have no idea. So, yikes. Now, really quick, a detour. NASA sending them here and not know, like, they sent them here and they weren't aware of the vibration sort of stuff. That vibration sort of stuff was lost, throughout time. Somebody knew that originally, and I wonder if they were having people go back and forth, but, it was not NASA. NASA did not know how to do that. They sent them over there, and then they couldn't figure out how to get the model to activate again. They just couldn't figure out a way to get him back, and so they just left him there, I guess. But, okay, so what else do we know about the planet? It has slightly more gravity, not a ton. It's got about as much oxygen as Earth. Don't know where it's coming from, though, because based off the map, which is not the entire planet, obviously, especially because if this planet is the one that everything is orbiting around, it's got to be a huge-ass fucking planet. But, as far as the surrounding area, we can see no, like, trees or anything, but, we could just be in the desert area, but we're implying that the whole planet's kind of like this, based off of this thing that has made the planet so barren. But, yeah, it didn't seem like there's any trees or anything like that. There was bamboo and stuff, but, yeah, that's about it. And the bamboo, I don't know if the bamboo was brought over by NASA for some fucking reason or something, but it is strange that it's just bamboo on this planet. Kind of wild, kind of wacky. There's also one little tiny lake with a plant monster in it, and that's it. Why? Why is that the case? We see the map, and that's the only lake within, like, the huge, big surrounding area. Why is that? And it was multiple days walks too, so it's not like the map is a very small amount of area or anything like that. It is quite large. He's been here for 14 years. He has plenty of time to explore. So, yeah. I don't know what to think about all that, you know? Random ass lake. Like, why was the lake not, gone because of this thing? Right, like there's something, like a couple, like, mushroomy type of warty looking things that were growing on like a rock, like shore, or some other stuff like that. Little tiny pockets of food or water, whatever would make sense, where it's like, yeah, it's not going to catch everything, but that lake is in a big open area. It's got a monster inside it. It's like, I don't know if he's purposefully doing all this, or if this was like a accidental thing that because of him the planet has become like this, but I don't know. We will see. I don't think he would be purposely doing it. Maybe something else happened to it, to the planet, and now he's doing this as a sort of like revenge sort of thing. Only thing I can think of. So yeah, this whole episode, extremely Lost inspired, obviously. I fucking love it. I'm super duper into it. I know I talk about it a lot, but I can't avoid it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is so Lost inspired. I gotta continue talking about it. So a lot of shows, really try and do they're still trying to catch the like success of Lost through the concept of like the stranded somewhere, or some mysterious events. Like, it doesn't even have to be like a crash or like a strand on an alien world type sort of thing. I've seen them try and do with time travel, with alternate dimensions, and stuff, amount of stuff. It's blah blah, but it never works that way. It never ever works. It's clearly them trying to just bank off the success of Lost. Whereas something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's taking inspiration from Lost. It's taking a lot of heavy inspiration from Lost, but it's clearly doing its own thing. It wants to be its own show. It's everything that it takes inspiration from. It executes in an extremely different way. But yeah, we have obviously the parallels with Rousseau and Will. Rousseau being on scientific expedition team, and Will being on NASA. Them, coming here, their whole crew, having the sickness or the madness taking over them, and then how am I trying to say this? That Rousseau/Will had to kill their whole crew because of the sickness or madness that took over them after they got to the planet, the island. Then you have, of course, Rousseau/Will capturing S.H.I.E.L.D./Simmons in an underground bunker type area, warning them in extreme vagaries about the monster and the sickness outside and all that sort of stuff. Only for Simmons/Saeed to suspect that they're the ones who went insane and they killed their whole crew because they're the ones who went mad, not because of some monster, but just because of some normal mental, illness sort of thing, or just craziness because they've, been here for so long. And then, of course, separately from the whole Rousseau stuff, we have the sandstorm smoke monster thingy manipulating corpses to give itself physical form, saying that the planet and the island has moods. We even got with the Simmons and Will here, we have the whole woman of science, man of faith. Even if the faith is faith in doom, it's still woman of science, man of faith there. There's so much inspiration there. I absolutely dig it. I assume that is where we are going with this sandstorm sort of thing. That it is manipulating corpses to give itself a physical form in order to kill. It cannot kill normally because it is just the planet. It is the planet as this sandstorm thing, which would be very different from the Lost thing. It's not like the smoke monster was the island. Yeah, I think that is where we're going here with it, is that the monster is literally the planet. And the planet is using the sand? Maybe it is all the sand going into the corpse and manipulating it like that. Or maybe it's a more spiritual, magical, weird thingy. I don't know. Either way, what else do I have to say about the monster? I'm not sure if I have anything else to say, but I think, yeah, I think something happened to this planet. It is doing revenge because the planet itself is doing revenge by taking forms of the corpses. That's my guess. So yeah, we also have this being very similar to the story of, I should have done my research on this, going off the top of my head, but the group of mountain climbers who were stranded on a mountain, and then, I'm not sure if they were even stranded, but it was a snowy mountain. They stripped off all their clothes, they walked out of the tent, they took an axe to the gear, and all that sort of stuff, and, it just seemed like they went crazy. That sort of stuff happens. There's plenty of stories like that. That's one that sticks out in my mind, especially because they're taking the axe to the gear. But, yeah, that sort of stuff happens all the time. So, I love it. Once again, loved it in Lost, but I love it here too. With the, just really trying to make you think like, oh, was it them who went crazy? Is it actually some sort of madness that is taking over the crew and whatnot? And that's also the thing, like, was it a madness taking over the crew? Or, because by my own theory, if I think that this is, the thing manipulating corpses and everything like that wouldn't really apply to them going mad. What is the madness? Is this truly an evil? Is this truly them getting mad and sick? Or is that a red herring that like, oh, I'm thinking that's going to be important because I've seen Lost, but in reality that's going to be a red herring. It's going to be a twist that all that was not actually the case. I don't know. There's a possibility that they died and then were taken over by the planet. Okay, we're going to get into some like very specific Lost spoilers for a second, but like, the only other way it could happen is if they were just not in his line of sight for a bit, they died, were taken over, and then, being manipulated by the planet to make them... The planet does not seem to be able to make them speak or anything, so it's different in that regard, too. It's not like it's using the corpses to trick them, it's solely using these people to kill them, and to come after them, and everything. So, maybe it is like a Rousseau and her team at the temple, where the science exposition goes down the hole, and then we hear the smoke monster. Next time we see them, they're, mad, but we know it's because they are the smoke monster. Maybe it's something like that, where, his coworker, NASA coworker's like, hey, gotta take a piss. Then he goes behind a rock, comes back out, starts trying to kill him. We really have to see how it happened, like how their madness started, to be able to tell, was it just a corpse at that point, or was it actually some sort of evil something taking over their mind and manipulating them in some way? Hard to tell, but I'm going to go with my first one. I'm going to go with the guess that they got out of his line of sight, they got sand monster-ried, and then they got taken over. That's my guess. Okay, so, what else do I want to talk about? The phone. I cannot believe that Fitz made a phone that the battery on it lasted, like, how long was that? That was months. Multiple months that battery lasted. Jeez. I mean, not on the whole time, but still. I want Fitz as a friend. God damn. Give me that phone. I love, like, the small touches like that, because that's such a, like... Yeah, duh. He's like, they're one of the smartest people in the world, dude. They're making all these genius, insanely highly leveled technology. Of course they're gonna just make the phone have a better battery. Why wouldn't they? I wonder how much like small stuff like that, they have. Like, I would love to see Fitz's waffle maker. I'm sure he's got like the world's most insane waffle maker. He's gotta have just everything he owns has gotta just be this like, not like it would be some super weird gadget, wacky wonky looking thing or whatever, but just that it would be the best it'd be like, this waffle maker heats up waffles at the perfect temperature. It has a setting right here where you can, it puts in the waffle paste. What is it called? What do you make waffles out of? Waffle mix, I guess it's just called. But anyway, all that aside, where else are we going this episode? Just talking more about like the survival aspect of everything this episode. I cannot imagine, like, the I don't know how to begin talking about this. How do you psych yourself up to do 90% of the stuff Simmons did this episode? How do you psych yourself up to drink that water? How do you psych yourself up to take the first bite out of that, creature? The bathing in that water was insane. I definitely would have tried to find something, or even like thrown a huge ass rock in there first, to check anything. But, man, I definitely would not be bathing in that water, especially because it's the water you're going to be drinking and everything. So, probably not good to be bathing in it. It's the only water in the fucking planet. So, yeah, that's the only thing this episode that I was like, dumb move. Real stupid move that they really did only to have the monster grab Simmons from under the water. Like, that's the only reason they had that scene. So, whatever. I know it's not a Simmons being a stupid character. I know it's this show just having to have that scene. But, yeah, that was dumb. But aside from that, having to just be like, I know, if I drink this water, it's probably going to kill me. 9 out of 10 chance drinking this water, it's going to kill me, and it's going to kill me slowly and badly. Because it's going to be infected with some bad shit. There's going to be some microscopic, brain-eating alien amoeba in this fucking water. I know it. It's stagnant water. Like, you saw the skim on the top and everything. Oh, God. But, at the end of the day, you're going to die if you don't. So you gotta do it, but it's like, fuck, man, I don't want to do it. Eating that plant, where it's like, oh, shit, dude, I don't even, even something as small as having to go to sleep, right? You don't know what the fuck's on this planet, you don't know what's gonna happen to you when you go to sleep. Oh, Simmons is way more of a man than I will ever be. Oh, Simmons is I don't know. I think I might like Simmons more than Fitz at this point. Like, I've always liked Fitz more just because he's funnier, in my opinion, and I'm always the kind of person who likes the funny characters more so than the serious characters. I tend to. But yeah, even all that aside, I mean, Simmons is still funny too, so I still have that with her. But yeah, I do think I at this point I definitely enjoy Simmons more than Fitz, I think. But what more is there to say about this episode other than just like, goddamn Simmons, what an incredible person you are, what perseverance. Like, and also, last episode with Andrew talking about her doing it alone and all that, and like, man, let me list all these other people who were alone and were able to get out of it, just fine, and then she's like, motherfucker, you should be saying this to Will. Will was there for 14 years. I was there for 6 months. What I did was nothing compared to what he did. Again, amazing foreshadowing in that regard. The getting to see her use her phone battery with all the NASA tech to get it. Just that whole montage. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. The slow progression of seeing her relationship with Will felt so natural. I do think, she doesn't have any actual romantic feelings for Will. I don't think so. Not right now, anyway. At the time, sure. But that was clearly because of the circumstances. And the moment she saw that flare, she kind of fuck Will. I'm all for the Fitz fan now. And I can't blame her. She's really come to realize her own feelings during all this, I think. But at the same time, she still feels guilty for what she did over there, even though she absolutely should not. So, yeah, I hope that the jealousy doesn't eat her away too much. I hope that her and Fitz can actually have something real, that'd be sweet. I didn't think we were ever going to get to there in a point in the show, but hey, if they could be a couple on this show and have that last, Bobby and Hunter are nice for that, I'm glad, but they're separated so much. So, if we could have a couple on the show that is actually together, in the show, they are physically in the same space while they are dating, or in Hunter and Bobby's case, basically married, then yeah, I'm totally down for that, and I really hope that's the case. But, yeah, the different font for the episode title, by the way, really great choice because it it sets you up for the that you know, buckle up. This whole episode's gonna be this. This is what this episode is. It's all alien planet all the whole time. Get used to it. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Fucking 10 out of 10 episode. Absolutely loved it. So loved the whole I talked about it in terms of the Lost references and everything, you know, in terms of, not Lost references, but just the inspiration from Lost with the, a lot of stuff, but just know that, I absolutely love how different it is in this show, and, you know, I talk about Lost and the inspiration a lot, and I know that could be annoying for a lot of people if they haven't seen Lost, or they just don't like Lost, or whatever, you know, the case may be. But, you know, as I said, I love that they could take the inspiration and do with it stuff in an incredibly different way, and stuff where it's even if I'm seeing, even though I have, you know, this is the closest the inspiration has ever gotten, this is a lot of very almost one-to-one in certain circumstances, it still leads me to believe, you know, which part of this is red herrings, which part of this are they doing because they know that I've seen Lost and they're trying to trick me. Because they've definitely done that in the show before, too, where it's they know that I've watched Lost, so they'll set something up that's oh, I see they're inspired by Lost for this, and then they'll pull the rug out from under me and be oh, no, that, wow, that only works because I had seen it. Yeah. I'm rambling a lot. It's perfect. I love it. Super duper into this. Cannot wait to see, okay. Real quick before this, how the fuck are we gonna go get Will? I haven't even begun to speculate on that, because the monolith is broken. So, it's not like there's another monolith, right? I feel like if there was another monolith, we definitely would have known about it by now. Because this one monolith has been changing hands throughout, so much of history that it's really, there's not, you know, we didn't hear about the other one, so it's got to be a way to recreate the monolith, maybe. I don't know, though. It's, destroyed. Well, okay, that's an important question. Where the fuck did the monolith come from? It's also, there's, square holes in it. Why? Why the square holes in it? Potentially maybe from people just carving out, you know, a section of it and trying to do something with it, you know, throughout all the years. That's probably the most likely scenario, but I would like to see that, if that's the case. But that may be our only chance. But then how would that work? You need a body-sized thing, right? But, maybe there is some, chunks of the rock that have been taken out, and if we put them all together, we can then vibrate them and they'll form into a portal that is big enough for a person to go through. I think that's our only option. So, tracking down, maybe, where these squares in the portal have gone. I think, I thought, I was never going to be able to come up with an explanation for how the fuck we're going to get back over there, but I think I just gave a pretty good one. I'm pretty confident about that. I think that's a pretty decent theory. The squares, the rectangles have been cut out, and we're going to put them together. Yeah, I can't think of anything else it would be. But they could always surprise me with something wacky crazy. So, I'll see you guys for that. Until then, you can get the fuck out of here.